Hey there. Today I wanted to take a quick look at one of the newer features in Microsoft Word. Now, newer, I'm not sure how many years ago it came out, but it's the equation editor or the equation function within Microsoft Word. For those of you who have been using Word for a long time, you may remember years ago there was an add-in that you could get for Word that was called Microsoft Equation 3.0. It was a great little add-in. It helped make some really good equations, but it was an add-in, so it took a little bit of extra effort to get in there and use it. With the newer versions of Word, and again, I don't remember exactly when this came out, it's been a number of years already, but with the newer versions of Word, there's an embedded equation function right in Microsoft Word itself. If you're using an older version, I do have a video about using Microsoft Equation 3.0, but now we've got this new tool, and in a lot of ways it's a much better, a much easier tool to use. So let's go ahead and take a look at how it works. Alright, so I've got a fresh Microsoft Word document open here, and you can insert an equation in the middle of the line as a separate line however you want. So let's say I want to put my equation in right there. All I have to do is go up to the Insert menu, and this is the only part that's a little troubling. It's not always the easiest to find. So under the Insert menu, if you go across the banner, depending how wide your screen is, you might see it here. Otherwise, you have to pop down this Symbols menu, and there we go. We get Microsoft Equation, and that dropped a tag in there, and this is where we can now type our equation. So we can go ahead and just start typing, for a very simple math equation, y equals mx plus b. Yep, that's not all that magical. I'm sure it looks nice. You can tell that it was done in equation because it's italicized and it's a little different size. It's a different font specifically for math. But if that's all I were doing, I don't know that I'd waste my time using the equation function. Where it comes in really handy is when you've got anything that you want. Let me put in a new one. Anything you want to have fractions, superscripts, subscripts, and brackets in. So let's go up and grab some of those tools so I can put a bracket in. And you see there's nothing too fancy about that until you change it, change what's inside of it. So let's say I've got a plus, now what if I want a fraction? I can go up and I can grab a fraction tool, and you see not only does it give me a nice fraction, but it adjusted those brackets so that they would be an appropriate size. So a plus, whoops, that's one of the things you might accidentally arrow out of it. If you do, you can always go back in. A plus b over c times, let's put another bracket in here. And you see there are many different styles of brackets. I'll just continue to use the plain bracket. A plus b over c, so you see the fraction there. You can also do superscript subscripts. So let's say that is now d squared plus, let's throw in another fraction. You can embed things in these fractions, so let's go ahead and let's throw a square root on the top of that fraction and call that, where am I, D, E. I'm going to skip E, it's a problem, F plus, and now I can do another fraction if I really want to embed this. And you see everything is adjusting. The brackets adjust their size, the square root symbol adjusts its size. So that's what really makes this a powerful tool. So we could do a script. Let's do g squared all over h divided by I is equal to 9. Let's get boring at this point. So you see a lot of the things here. It's got good superscripting and also subscripting capabilities, but those brackets that adjust and all the other things that just adjust to the size of what's inside of them is really the thing that makes this produce really nice, clean mathematical expressions. So there's a quick little run through. One of the other nice things about this, if you're trying to really show a calculation well, it's usually good practice to show it in variable form and then plug in the numbers. So with Microsoft Equation, once you've got that in there, you can just copy and paste, and now I can go back in, and maybe this is 2.46 and 22.75 and 90. You can plug in the numbers and really show your calculations very, very well in there. The other thing is there is a quick key for this. If you do Alt equals, it'll pop in a new equation tag for you, and you can start building that equation. So I think the best thing you can do is probably to go in and really just explore what's all in this menu. The symbols are really nice. They're good symbols. The things that I really find most useful are the fraction, the script, and the brackets. But if you're doing calculus, you can make some really nice looking integrals in your document. Other operators that you might be using, and just dig through. You find a lot of things that are really pretty nice, pretty interesting, and really the real power of this is that it formats well. The other thing, just as a quick aside, in the script menu, one of the things that this is really nice for is if you want to have a subscript and a superscript, either after or before a value. So, like if I'm going to do a squared at equilibrium, there we go. There are ways to do that using other tools, but boy, this sure does it nicely and makes it look good. So go in and dig around in there. It's a pretty easy tool to use. It just takes a little bit of practice. So that's the equation tool in Microsoft Word. Again, go in, give it a try. It's pretty straightforward. It's got some really nice features, and the best way to figure it out is just go in and click around and start entering some things. So make sure that you make good use of that. It'll really improve your product. It'll really improve your work and the presentation of that work. And again, it's a pretty simple one to use. So go get some practice and see what you can make.